adjacent to, or traveling in the same circles as the person that's been selected to be this icon. Because let's just be very clear, he was selected, just like Diddy was selected. Question is by who?
For years, singer Jaguar Wright has been one of the most controversial voices in hip-hop. She has accused powerful executives of corruption. She has questioned how certain artists rose to global dominance. And she has repeatedly claimed that some of the biggest names in music were not simply successful, but selected. Now she is focusing on Jay-Z across multiple interviews. Wright suggests a pattern involving power, young artists, and silence inside the industry. Tonight we examine what she actually said. We review the footage, and we separate allegation from verified fact. Because when accusations involve cultural icons, the difference matters. Before discussing Rihanna or Aaliyah, Jaguar Wright makes a broader claim. She says Jay, Z, and Diddy were not simply talented artists who climbed naturally. She says they were chosen, and she says that realization changed everything for her.
Adjacent to, or traveling in the same circles as the person that's been selected to be this icon. Because let's just be very clear, he was selected, just like Diddy was selected. Question is by who? Now, for many years, I minded my business about a lot of things, but a lot of things came to me. I heard a lot of things. You got to remember, this was back when I was still trying to be amicable with the industry so that I could have my career, so that I could have my life, right? Everything that I worked for, everything that I sacrificed. Up until, what? 2016, 2017, I was still ignoring a lot of things. A lot of things. It wasn't until I couldn't ignore it anymore because I realized this ain't going nowhere. And then when I started seeing exactly how dangerous things had become, it was very simple. It's either you're going to speak up or they're going to keep getting away with it, or you're going to get handled up on regardless because you're not playing along the way you should be playing along. Like that's how this works. Like the people that get rewarded are the people that keep the secrets, the people that are quiet, and the people that lie for them. The people who get a pass are the people who pretend that like they don't know what's going on. And then the people that speak up are the people that, get persecuted, get framed, get trashed, are forced to go broke, that kind of shit. So yeah, like I cannot say that it was an overnight process. I was hoping. See, I was always so quick to just blame, all of the harm and just the terrible shit in the industry on Diddy. I wasn't really willing to accept the fact that they were working together, which is why I find it so funny. That people, really just didn't call bullshit a little bit louder when Alex Spiro came forward talking about they were never friends, they were never close, they were never this, they were never that. I wonder when Spiro's gonna come forward and do another PowerPoint breakup to say that Jay-Z was never friends with Harvey. Harvey Weinstein, now that all of the videos of him calling Jay-Z his friend and sticking up for him. Like it's...
Wright says she stayed quiet for years, not because nothing was happening, but because speaking out, in her view, carried consequences. She describes an industry that rewards loyalty and punishes dissent.
That there was a specific thing that happened. It wasn't. It was just watching things stack up. Watching things stack up, watching him grow more power, watching it stack up, watching them grow more power, watching it stack up, and then asking myself, where am I in the pecking order? If I come forward and say anything, who's going to protect me? Who's going to back me up? Who's gonna, you know what I mean? Who's gonna verify? Is there anybody else that's willing to? Like, it's been years. I've been waiting for people to be brave enough to come and stand with me. Because the hardest thing to do is to get people to corroborate that this shit is happening. That's the hardest thing in the world to do. So yeah, I can't say that it was there was one specific falling out. No, I've been watching, you know, just like everybody else has been watching things happen while they were growing power and growing power. And, you know, then and there's all of the other people who are, you know, when you get frustrated, the other players in the game who say, oh, well, no, you know, listen to me. Nobody's going to forget your loyalty. Nobody's going to forget. It's going to be okay. When this person gets here, they're going to do this. When this person gets here, they're going to do that. Oh, when they make this happen, you're going to be able to get this. Like, it's barter and trade all the way through. Am I making sense?
You're making perfect sense.
So you hear, you know, somebody comes to you and they confide in you about, you know, them being bullied because they have a secret love child and they're scared for that child's life. Or somebody comes to you and says, hey, they're just buying up all of the buildings in the neighborhood and they're just putting people out on the street. And okay, do you think you can make a phone call? Do you know how many times people would come to me and say, could you make a phone call?
To who?
See if this is real. Would you make a phone call? You know, like it.
You know,
it's shitty. It's really, really, really shitty, especially when you finally figure it out that nobody was ever going to look out for anybody. Nobody was ever going to keep their word. They were just going to keep selling people out, selling the culture out, selling the culture out. I regret it, but the truth is, if I had spoke up back then, I wouldn't have lived to see this day to be able to do what I've done now.
Yeah, no, don't regret it, man. Never regret the truth, or never regret your truth.
No, it's just, if I had spoke up sooner, I wouldn't have lived to be able to tell that story.
The focus then shifts to Rihanna, 16 years old, flying from Barbados, meeting Jay-Z in Manhattan. This moment has been public for years, but Wright interprets it differently.
So tell me about your audition with Jay-Z. Tell me what he said to you.
A really good audition.
Yes.
But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did the homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
Rihanna herself later described the meeting as intense but exciting. The same footage can be interpreted two ways, deception or as pressure.
Get discovered. This is an unusual story.
Well, first, I met a producer in Barbados who was vacationing there because his wife is from there. So he was vacationing there one time, and my friend who knows him, she wanted me to meet with him. So in a nutshell, I went to his hotel room, I sang for him, and he was impressed. So he invited me out to his studio to do some recording, and we recorded for like a year back and forth. Then we finally put a demo together. We sent it to a few labels, and Def Jam happened to be the first label to call back. They were the most enthusiastic about everything. So we set up a meeting with Jay-Z, and I met with him, and he was very impressed by the audition. And he didn't let me leave until 3 in the morning after we signed the deal.
Well, were you nervous meeting Jay?
What? I was literally shaking in the lobby.
It was the longest 12 hours of my life. Like, I was just waiting downstairs, and I was like, get the contract down here. I want to sign. I was so hyped. I didn't sleep for the next 3 days.
Wright argues Rihanna was not isolated. She references Aaliyah. She references Beyonce. She claims a pattern involving young women and powerful men. She confirming these allegations, but she continues to connect timelines.
He was after Beyonce when she was before 18, correct? I mean, as we go through the timeline, they claim, oh no, I met him at 18 and then we waited till I was 19, but they knew each other when she was like 15, 16, correct? You clearly had eyes, and it's not the only one, right? There's Aaliyah as well. I was looking at these photos. There's a history
But
of
Aaliyah
this, right?
definitely. A lot of people don't realize the timeline, but after everything went bad with Robert Kelly and he had to divorce Aaliyah, Jay-Z was interested while she was still underage. And as she started spending more time in New York, he was very, very, very right there. She didn't want that. She didn't want that with him. And if there's one thing I can tell you about Sean Carter, being embarrassed and being rejected are things he does not handle well. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy. He didn't do anything to Big L.
Wright then turns to moments the public already knows. Award shows, the Super Bowl, the elevator video. She argues these were not random events but glimpses into power dynamics.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm gonna give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she want to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She like to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
Ellen Reed, Steve Bartles, Tata, Jay Brown, Karen Kwok for finding this amazing record. Tricky, Dream for writing such a beautiful record. Thank you, I love you guys. Mom, Dad, my two brothers, Rory and Rajad. Please wrap up, okay? Barbados, I love you. We got one. Evan Rogers, Carl Sturken, Mark Jordan, Krista, making sure I don't forget anybody. Thank you so much. This means a lot.
Speaking of PTSD, you made a comment about this. Like, this was from the Super Bowl appearance more recently. This bothered you, seeing her put the Rockefellers logo out there.
If you
what was
go
your
back
instinct to that?
and watch, it was almost as if she didn't want to put her hands up, and then she looked over where Jay-Z's box was, and then you just see her hand. She look at her. She's looking at his box. She didn't want to do it. She didn't even want to do that gig. But the hold, especially the financial hold with the companies and all of the money and all of the strings that he pulled to. He treats these women like shell corporations.
Is that why this happened? Do you have any insight on this infamous elevator video where Solange was seen just unloading on him? Beyonce's there as well.
What I will say is, right there, that's the moment when he told her to back up and called her Tito Jackson.
Respect and love to Tito Jackson, who we just lost recently.
I know. Tito
Legend,
could never get a break. And he's the nicest guy.
But here,
yeah,
Jay-Z trying to mimic, she's not worthy, she's nobody, is what he's trying to do.
Pretty much is what he pretty much said to her. But the thing is there was infidelity that was happening that night. Both of them got caught doing things they weren't supposed to do. I believe there might have been some DV that happened. And people who know Mr. Carter knows he doesn't have a problem with putting his hands on his wife. Plenty of people know that to be true. Solange is different. Allegedly, Solange is different. She's old school Southern, and she loves her big sister, even when her big sister makes mistakes. She stood up for her sister. The most interesting thing about that, though, can we look at that one more time, Andy? They come in, and all of this, and then look, it almost looks like he's going to defend himself, but instead he prostrates himself, right? He lets Solange go nuts, and then he sits there and acts. He knows that camera's there. He knows where all the cameras are in that place. There's another footage, and I'll get it and I'll send it to you, of him with another woman approaching him aggressively, or it seemed like aggressively, and he stabbed the crap out of her. Matter of fact, there's at least 5 different shows over the course of the past 15 years where he has physically women that came into his space that he didn't want anywhere near him. So I find it funny that in all those other instances, he had no problem with putting his hands on a woman to so-called defend himself. But when he's getting killed alive with cameras there, all of a sudden now he's meek and mild. I think that was a setup. I think he did that specifically to handle up on Solange.
To supporters, these moments raise questions. To critics, they are speculation layered onto existing scandals. Some commentators publicly support Wright. They claim alleged victims have reached out privately, but private claims are not the same as public evidence, and that distinction defines this entire debate. Wright ultimately frames her argument this way. Jay was not just elevated. He was chosen to influence culture.
There was a video of Rihanna winning an award, and she was thanking her parents. And Jay-Z, he stepped in and said, "Nah, she means to thank me." And he was being very overly aggressive. And you look at Rihanna's age at that time. You look at him. How much does power and influence, even for you? You were backstage, saw him cry, unplugged. How much does power and influence come to those?
I was also a grown woman, and I was pregnant and married. She was a kid. She was a kid. Yeah, I remember that. No, you need to thank me. That's kind of ballsy, isn't it?
When you look back at it, it's hypothetically, Jay-Z leaves the country right now. He goes Russell Simmons.
He could.
Yeah.
He could do that.
He's a quiet man regardless, so it doesn't quite matter if he's here or not.
I mean, Jack, did he leave the country? Because that's what everybody's saying.
That's what everybody's saying, but you know what? Who knows? The truth is, he should be here this weekend. It's the Super Bowl. I mean,
right.
Everybody was his pick, and all of that stuff is going to happen. If he's not at the Super Bowl, that's going to be quite telling, but it doesn't matter if he's here or if he's not. Right now, there's an entire machine that is working to try to find a way to salvage his image. You've got people like La Russell signing the Rock Nation. You've got, he's not a bad guy. He's nothing like people say. Really? Like we're not supposed to believe.
Jaguar Wright presents a narrative of selection, control, and silence. Jay-Z has not responded publicly to these specific allegations. Rihanna has never accused him of wrongdoing. No criminal court has established the claims presented in these interviews, but the conversation continues. Is this a whistleblower exposing a powerful system? Or a controversial figure connecting dots that are not proven? In an era where fame, influence, and social media collide, the line between allegation and fact becomes harder to navigate. The question is not just whether these claims are true. The question is, what would it take to prove them? And who would be willing to speak publicly if they were?